Hey, welcome everybody. Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, July 14th, 1983. It's, let's see, Charlie Puleo versus Tom Terrific. So let's go over the lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. It's going to be Eddie Milner, center fielder, Dave Concepcion, the shortstop, Gary Reedus, the left fielder, Dan Driessen, the first baseman, Ron Oster at second base, Nick Saski, the third baseman, Householder, the right fielder, Nicely, the catcher, and Puleo, the pitcher. That's for the Cincinnati Reds. And the home team, the New York Mets, is Bob Bailey, the shortstop, Mookie Wilson in center field, Keith Hernandez, the first baseman, George Foster, the left fielder, Huey Brooks at third base, Darryl Strawberry in right field. Batting seventh is the second baseman, Brian Giles. Eighth is Junior Ortiz, the catcher, and ninth is Tom Terrific. Let's play ball. So it's going to be Tom Terrific pitching to Eddie Milner. And it's going to be off Terrific, a 63, and that'll be a fly ball to right. Under is Strawberry, and that's the first out of the ball game. Playing Statis Pro Classic Vintage, here's Dave Concepcion. That's going to be off Concepcion's card. A 56 will be a grounder right back to Seaver, who fields it cleanly. And that is out number 2. Now, Seaver, up to this point, this is his 19th start. He's, in actuality, he was 5-9 with a 3.61 ERA. In the replay, he's 5-8 with a 2.79 ERA, so about 80 points lower than in reality. So 2 outs, and here comes Gary Reedus. Here's a pitch that doesn't count, so BD. It's 10, so that'll be off Reedus, and a 63 will be a range play, bounce to second base. Giles throws him out by half a step, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Terrific. Here come the Mets. It's Charlie Puleo. Now, Puleo was traded for Seaver back in '82, I believe, when the Mets were able to acquire Seaver, and they traded away Charlie Puleo. And here's Bob Baylor. That's a 3. That's going to be off Puleo, and a 25 will be a base on balls. So Bob Baylor walks. Now they have him as Rob Baylor. I know him as Bob Baylor, but Robert. So runner on first. Here's Mookie Wilson. So that'll be a move there. And that was, wait, hold on a second. Yeah, that was off the pitcher card. So no check for error. So here's Mookie Wilson. It will be off Puleo, and it's a 47, and that's going to be an out. What kind of an out? It's an SN, fly ball, center field. Center fielder Milner under it. 1 down. Back to first goes Baylor. So here comes Keith Hernandez. Here's a pitch. That's a 2, again off Puleo, and a 31, ball 4. So 2 walks off the pitcher card. Keith Hernandez is on at first. Baylor is on at second. George Foster at the plate. Here's a pitch to Foster. That's a 7. That's going to be off Foster. And a 33 is a strikeout. Got him. Curveball gets Foster out in front. 2 out. And here's Huey Brooks, the pitch from Puleo. That's a 3. Again, another. And a 73 is going to be an RN. That's lifted to left field. Right there is Reedus, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. They leave a couple of walks. We go to the top of the second. All right, this game has a very different feel. You know, it's driven by a fast action deck, and every 3 innings you shuffle it up. And here is Dan Driessen against Tom Terrific. That's off Driessen, an 86, and that'll be a number right in front of the plate. Ortiz is on it, and he makes the play. 2-3. Oster off Seaver, and a 67 SN. That's popped up left side. Third baseman Brooks under it. 2 down. And here Nick Isaski with 2 outs. Pitch from Terrific, that's going to be off Isaski, and a 32 is a deep drive to left field, and that ball is gone into the parking lot here at Shea Stadium. Hit my car. It's a solo shot by Nick Isaski. And a solo home run with 2 outs. Here comes Householder. Pitch from Terrific. Householder's a switch hitter batting lefty. That's a 9. That's off Householder, and a 68. That'll be an SN, and that is right back to the mound. Picked up by Seaver, and he throws him out to retire the side. 1 run on 1 hit, and the Reds lead at 1-0 on the solo home run by Nick Isaski. Darryl Strawberry's up here against Puleo in the bottom of the 2nd. That's going to be off of 65, ball 4. So that's the 3rd walk allowed by Puleo. Strawberry's on at first, and he takes off. Throw down. 18, not in time. He steals 2nd. Good throw from Nicely, but Strawberry had an excellent jump. Seaver's going to lose 2 there from that home run, and here comes Brian Giles. Here's the pitch, and that's a 10. That'll be off Giles, and a 17. That's ripped to center field for a base hit. Now Strawberry is an A. There's nobody out, so they're going to hold him up at 3rd. So Nicely with a Giles with a base hit single to center, and it's 1st and 3rd. Here comes Junior Ortiz. And the infield is going to be playing back with nobody out. That's a clutch defense on the 2nd baseman. 2nd baseman is Oster. His clutch defensive rating is a 1. We're going to pull a card and look, a 1. Ooh, it's a 12, and that is clutch defensive rating. And that's going to be line out to 2nd, and he's going to flip it to the shortstop, and they get no, they're gonna, it's a line out to 2nd, and he whips it to the 3rd baseman, and they double off Darryl Strawberry at 3rd base. So it's going to be a DP 4-4-5, and they get Strawberry leaning too far off the bag. Wow, so that's 2 outs now with Giles on at 1st base. So Ortiz lines out into a double play thanks to the clutch defense, they call it, a clutch defense chart. And here's Tom Terrific. Here's a pitch from Charlie Puleo. That's a 7. That's off Seaver, and a 67 will be a pitcher out, which is a fly ball center field. That's Milner, and that retires the side. So no runs. 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the top of the 3rd. All right. Here's Tom Terrific to Nicely. Alan Nicely. It's a 3. That's off Terrific, a 56, and that'll be an RN, which is bounced to short, fielded by Baylor, and on target to 1st baseman Hernandez for out number 1. Next is Charles Puleo with a 10. That's off Puleo. A 24 will be a strikeout. So Seaver strikes out the opposing pitcher. Here's Eddie Milner now. It's a pitch from Terrific. That's going to be off Milner, a 21, and that's line base hit to right. Rips one, and he's on at 1st. He's a threat to steal. There he goes, a 52, and he is out at 2nd. What a throw by the catcher, Ortiz. 2-4, and that ends the inning. So Ortiz guns down the speedy Eddie Milner trying to steal, and that ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, failed to move Seaver down 1 there, and I also got to start checking for the errors on those. Sometimes I forget that. Bob Baylor up. Pitch from Puleo. That's going to be off Baylor, a 31. And that's going to be a drive down the line and fair ball into the left field corner. Going to check for an error on that. Ooh, 7-10. Left fielder is Reedus. No, he fields it cleanly and into second base with a leadoff double is Bob Baylor. So subtract one there. So we did check for the error there. So you got to be thinking about that. Here's Mookie Wilson now. Pitch from Puleo. That's an 8. That's off Wilson and a 33, and that is ripped over the center fielder's head. Coming around to score is Baylor, and digging for second is Wilson. The throw, and he is safe with a double. No error on that, and a run, and the Mets tie up the game at 1 apiece with back-to-back leadoff doubles here in the bottom of the third inning. And here comes Keith Hernandez. All right, here's a pitch to Hernandez from Puleo. That's a 10. That's off Hernandez, and it's a 63, an LN. And that is bounced to the first baseman. No error. Runner will move up to third. So 1 out now. Infield will play in right now for George Foster. Here's the pitch. It's a 6. That's off Foster, and a 37. That struck him out for the second out. So Foster out in front and goes down on strikes for the second time. And here is Hubie Brooks. The pitch, 7, that's off Brooks, and a 15, that's line base hit to left. We're going to try, and that Mookie Wilson at third base will score an RBI single. For Hubie Brooks with 2 outs, and it's 2-1 Mets. So Brooks is on at first. That's 1, 2, and I believe that was off. Check for the error, no error, and here's Darryl Strawberry. Pitch to Strawberry. That's an 8. That will be off Strawberry, and a 15, and that is ripped to right. Base hit. We're going to try to go to third, and ooh, he's going to be out at third. The throw from the right fielder, Householder. Let's check and see his number. His number is a T3, and the runner is Brooks, a B, going from first to third on a single. T3. Oh, wait a second. With 2 out, there are 2 outs, so this will be 66, 86. It will be an 86, and he's an okay, and it's an 84. So he's safe at third base, first and third. So another hit against, and we'll check for the error. No error on that. So first and third, 2 have scored in this inning so far. There are 2 outs, and here's Brian Giles. Giles singled in the second inning. And the pitching coach is going to go out to talk to Charlie Puleo, who's struggling here in the bottom of the third inning. He's had some inconsistency with his control. He's struggled finding the plate in the first inning. He walked a couple, and then he gave up a leadoff walk in the bottom of the second, but a line drive double play got him out of the 2-on, nobody out jam. But here in the bottom of the third, back-to-back doubles by Baylor and Wilson brought in the tying run, and then after a couple of outs, it was a single by Brooks scoring Wilson to give the Mets the 2-1 lead, and now it's a single by Strawberry, and all the balls have been hit hard so far. It's first and third, and it's Brian Giles. And here is the pitch from Puleo. That will be again off the batter, and a 22 is going to be a base hit to center. No error on that. A run comes in. We're going to try to send Strawberry to third, and a 74. We're going to have to check his speed. And I said it was the center, right? That was a T3, I believe. Let me just check. Milner. Yep, T3. And that's one thing that I think I should write, because that's how guys move around the bases. We did roll a 74. Strawberry is an A. So going to first first to third on a single to center. T3, and he is an A. 56, 66, 76. 76. So it's easier to go to third on a single to right, harder to center, and very hard to left. Makes sense, right? But he will get in there because it's 56, there's 2 outs, so that's plus 20, 66, 76. And what do we pull? We pull the 74, so he just gets in under the tag. So again, first and third, and Puleo loses a couple more. RBI single, and the Mets lead it 3-1 now. And it's going to be Junior Ortiz with 2 outs. Puleo's still in there. He's struggling in this inning. He gave up a couple of hits, then secured 2 outs, and now he's given up 3 consecutive hits. So here's a pitch, and that's a 6. Again, not off Puleo or for Ortiz, and an 85 will be finally a fly ball cracked to center field. Over is Milner. He's under it, and that retires the side. But 3 runs come in, and the Mets take a 3-1 lead on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. And after 3 complete, we start the top of the 4th inning. We're going to have to shuffle those cards up. The Mets lead at 3-1 here at Shea. All right, let's continue with the game. We're in the top of the 4th. It's going to be Dave Concepcion leading off against Tom Terrific. This is 1983. Start 19 for Tom Terrific. Here's a pitch to Concepcion. That's a 10. It's off Concepcion, and 83 will be a bouncer to Giles at second. Fields it cleanly and throws out Concepcion for the first out. Playing Statis Pro. The original, it's called Statis Pro Baseball. It isn't called Statis Pro Classic. That's a different game. Statis Pro Baseball, Sports Illustrated. Also says game of professional baseball on the box by Sports Illustrated, and it's a pretty big company to be to have behind you as a game, as a baseball sports game. At the time, Sports Illustrated was a major magazine that had national, international distribution as well. Gary Reedus. So Terrific gets the sign from Ortiz and lets one fly. That's going to be off Terrific, and that's going to be a 38, which we're going to try again because it's a wild pitch. There's nobody on base, and 8 is off Reedus, and a 63 will be a RP. Fly ball center field. On the run is Wilson, and Wilson comes up with it. What a catch. And next is Dan Driessen, 2 out now with an 8. That's off Driessen. An 18, that's going to be line base hit to right. Driessen's on at first here with 2 outs, and that was off Driessen. We'll check for an error. No error. So here's Ronnie Oster. Here's the pitch. That's a BD, and his BD rating is a 0. A 45 will be nothing. So we're going to pull another CD now, and that'll be third baseman Hubie Brooks, and his CD rating is a non-existent, so we don't use that. Just continue pulling cards. A 12, that will be off Oster, and a 44 will be a strikeout to end the inning. So Seaver blows a fastball by Ron Oster. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Mets are up 3-1. I don't have my normal setup with the scoreboard, of course, because I use Replay Baseball and they don't have the 87 season. I'm having to input the stats into Stratomatic, which is on a separate computer that doesn't really have sound, so I have some issues with that computer. So and it's in a different location. So anyway, here we are in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's going to be Tom Seaver leading off. Charlie Puleo is still in there at the end of his rope. Struggled so far. That's a 5. That will be off Puleo, and a 76 will be an out. Pitcher out. That's bounced to the second baseman Oster, who throws out Terrific for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Next is Bob Baylor. He's 1 for 1 with a walk and a double. Scored a run. Here's a pitch. That's a 7. That's going to be off Baylor, and a 75. That'll be an out. An RN is popped up, and that's the left side third baseman Nick Asaski makes the catch for the second out. And here comes Mookie Wilson. Wilson has an RBI double. That's a 3. That's off Puleo on a 71. Will going to be a ground out to first. First baseman Driessen steps on the bag ahead of the speedy Wilson. No runs, no hits. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the top of the 5th inning. 3-1 Mets here at Shea Stadium. Where were you? July 14th, 1983. Seaver is back in town after 6 years in Cincinnati. This is an exciting season for the Mets. Unfortunately, gets away again. Ends up in Chicago. Wins his 300th game in Chicago, which was a major travesty of justice, of decency, of loyalty, and all the other things. All right, Nick Asaski, who's got a solo home run, and that's the only run for the Reds. Here's a pitch from Terrific. Oh, I got ladies here. I'll tell my wife. Here goes 5. That's going to be off Seaver, a 54, and that'll be a RP, which is a fly ball, left field. Out there is Foster for out number 1. Householder is 0 for 1. He bounced one right back to Seaver. That's a 9 off Householder. And an SN will be a grounded of first baseman Hernandez, who makes the play. 2 down. And Allen Nicely, he grounded out to the shortstop. Here's off his card of 43. It'll be a strikeout to end the inning. No runs, no hits, none left. We move to the bottom of the 5th. Very nice little game. I recommend you try it out. I like the classic version. I like not the classic version. I keep on using that word. I shouldn't use it because there is a game that's called Statis Pro Classic. So, and that was, I think, has only 2 seasons. The vintage version, which is Status Pro Baseball, made a ton of seasons, all the way from 78 to 92 is its last season. You can get those. Prices are going up and up, but don't pay those outrageous prices. Just offer the guy 50% less, at least 50% less. So a guy asking for 150, I offered him 40, and he sold it to me for 60 bucks. So yeah, they just sit there. They just make up prices. They don't know what it's worth, and they make up crazy prices. So don't pay those prices. Just offer a lot less. Offer 1/3 of the amount. I mean, no reason for that. Come on now. Why are we gouging off our fellow gamers? I mean, come on. This is for fun, man. This is not. If you waited your whole life to survive based on gouging off your fellow gamers with these games that you buy from friends and then you resell to other people for 3 times the price, I don't think that's right. Keith Hernandez. Here's a pitch from Puleo here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's an 11. That's going to be off Hernandez. A 36, and that's a drive down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's gone, and that is gone. 4-1 Mets. Home run. Keith Hernandez. Solo shot off of Charlie Puleo. Wishes he had that pitch back. Picks up an RBI. And here is George Foster. Here's a pitch. That's a 7. That's off Foster, 74, and that'll be a pop-up left side. Third baseman Asaski puts it away, 1 away. A 9. That's off Brooks, a 42, and that is struck him out. Next is Strawberry with a 7, and that's off Strawberry, a 38. Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks, and Puleo reached back for a little extra juice. After that solo home run to lead off the inning, Mets lead at 4-1. We go to the top of the 6th inning. And with Charlie Puleo leading off, it looks like they're going to call a pinch hitter here. All right, it's going to be Dwayne Walker, left-handed hitter, to lead off the top of the 6th for the Cincinnati Reds. Score is 4-1 Mets. And Seaver's ready. Here's the pitch to Walker. That's a 7. That will be off of Walker. And an 11. He is a lefty. Will be a base hit, infield single. And we'll check for the error. No error on that. So that's a single for Walker, a leadoff single. And here's going to be top of the order now. Eddie Milner. Seaver loses one there. Here's a pitch. That's an 8. That's off Milner. A 34, and that is struck him out. Got him. Got him with the curveball. That's one away. Concepcion's next. Here's the pitch. That's off Concepcion with a 43, and that will be an RN. Fly ball. Cracks one to right. Right fielder Strawberry under it. 2 down. Gary Reedus. Pitch from Terrific. That's off Terrific. 34, and that will be maybe a wild pitch. No. Let's do it again. Pitcher batter number 11. That's off Reedus. A 72 will be an out. An RP is a deep fly ball left fielder to left field. Foster back to the track and is back up against the wall and makes the catch to retire the side. So leadoff runner is stranded, who reached base on the single. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We move to the bottom of the 6th. New pitcher is going to be Rich Gale for the Cincinnati Reds. He will be facing Giles. Here's the pitch. That's a 5. That will be off Gale. And a 48. Be an RN, which is popped up left side. Visaski makes the catch. 1 down. Ortiz is up. He's 0 for 2. He lined down to a double play and flied out to center field. Here's a pitch. That's a 7. Will be off Ortiz, and a single to left puts Ortiz on at first. Little ground ball that squirts through the infield. Played by Reedus, who gets it in quickly to Concepcion, and Ortiz is on at first. Seaver will bunt, and we have a 74, and that will be an error picked up by the catcher nicely, who bobbles it, and everybody is safe. So it's a sacrifice error on 2, the catcher. So Seaver's on, and going to second is Junior Ortiz. So we got first and second here, and Gale was a 12, and he gave up a single, so that put him down there. And then of course that's it for now. So Baylor now with 1 out in first and second. Here's a pitch from Gale. That's, oh, it's going to be off Baylor, and that's going to be a 53, an RN. Infield is, no, there's nobody on third. Is popped up. Driessen, he's there for out number 2. So Baylor pops it up to the right side, and here is Wilson with a 3. That'll be off of Gale, a 56. SN bounced right back to the mound. Gale over to first, and that retires the side. So no runs, 1 hit and an error. They leave a couple, and we move to the top of the 7th inning. It's time to shuffle them up. All right, Driessen leading off against Seaver. He's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch from Terrific. Doesn't count. It's a CD. It's a 4. That's off Seaver, and a 34 will be another card. A 4 again off Seaver, and a 63 will be an out, and LN. It's ground ball to Hernandez. Nice play by Hernandez. Tough hop, and he steps on the bag ahead of Driessen for out number 1. Next batter is Oster. That's going to be off Oster, and a 74 is an SN, and that would be ripped down the line and caught. Caught by the third baseman. So Oster went to the opposite field on a rope. But right there is Brooks to haul it in. 2 outs. And here's Nick Asaski. He homered. He's 1 for 2 today. That's a 4. That's off Terrific. A 42 will be some sort of a RP, and that is a tapper right back to the mound. Seaver picks it up and throws him out to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch. Get out there, grab your last brewski of the afternoon, of the early evening. Here's Keith Hernandez. Keith Hernandez is 1 for 2 with a home run and a walk, a solo shot back in the 5th inning. He ripped one down the line and right along the foul pole, or the fair pole, whichever you prefer. Here's a pitch from Rich Gale. That's a 9, so that'll be off Hernandez. An 88, and that is a righty versus a lefty, and I believe that's a base hit. And we're going to check for an error. No error there, so it's going to be a single for Hernandez. He's on at first. Won't be stealing. Here's George Foster. Pitch to Foster. A CD clutch defense on the shortstop, Concepcion. Concepcion is a clutch defense of a 2. Whoa. And we got a 55 on a 2, and that's going to be a lead runner thrown out at the next base. So a ground ball, and it's going to be a fielder's choice. 6-4. Concepcion with an amazing play. Ball hitting the hole, and somehow he got to it, dove for it, and on his bottom whipped a throw to the second baseman Oster to get the lead runner. So Foster is on at first with 1 out. Here's Hubie Brooks, the pitch, and that is off Brooks. A 38 struck him out. And Darryl Strawberry now with 2 outs and 1 on. That's a 3. That's off Gale. A 47 will be a bouncer to second base. Oster gobbles it up and throws out Strawberry. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We move to the top of the 8th inning. Great game by Tom Terrific. Allowed only 1 run so far in this game on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Has not walked any either in this game. And it's going to be the bottom of the order, so we'll see a pinch hitter here for Puleo. It's going to be Householder nicely, and then a pinch hitter. Here's a pitch from Terrific. That's a 9, so that'll be off Householder, a 36, and that is a strikeout. Check swing. The check with the third base umpire, and he rings him up. Householder doesn't like it. Here's Nicely now. A 7. That's off Nicely, and a 47 will be a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Terrific. That is 1, 2, 5, 6 strikeouts for Terrific in this game. And here comes a pinch hitter. See who that's going to be. It's going to be Foley. And I'm wondering if that's Tim Foley. I'm wondering if he's do I have his card here in this set? Oh, Tom Foley. Yes, I do. Left-handed hitter. And he will bat here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Let's write him in. Foley, pinch hit in the 8th. Do this squiggly line. There we go. And here's a pitch from Seaver. It's a 6. That will be off Seaver, and an 85 will be a LN. Bounce to third. Nice play by Brooks. A fires to first, and on target to Hernandez. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's going to be bottom of the order for the Mets. Giles, Ortiz, and Seaver. We're going to need a new pitcher now. And who's it going to be? Who are we going to call? We are going to call, who we got coming up? Same 3 righties, so we're going to call on Hayes if we have him in the set. I have a bunch of pitchers here in the roster. Ben Hayes is coming in. Ben Hayes is here, so he will be pitching. All right, and Hayes is 2 to 5 again. They have a lot of 2 to 5s with a 13 RR, 13 points, if you will. So Hayes will face Giles, Ortiz, and Seaver. Here's a pitch from Hayes. That's an 8, so it's off Giles' card, and an 85 will be an RN out. Fly ball to right. Under it is Householder for out number 1. 4, that's off Hayes, and a 58 will be a bouncer right back to the mound. Hayes fields it cleanly and throws out Ortiz, and here's Tom Terrific. They will let him bat, see if he gets a complete game today. That's a 9. That will be off Tom, and at 42 struck him out to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 3 up, 3 down for Ben Hayes. And last legs for the Reds here at Shea Stadium. Mets lead at 4-1. Got a heck of a game going here. This is a fun game. If you know, it's a little bit different than what you're used to. It takes a little bit. You got to get the groove of this game because it's cards, and once you can anticipate a little bit the readings and understand how the base running advance works, or runners advancing on base hits chart, mini chart, whatever you want to call it, works, then it really flows fairly well because you start getting an idea of when you have to check and when you really don't have to check. Because there is a system in place, right? So a single to left is going to minimize the chances for a guy to go from first to third, but a single to right is going to enhance those chances, and it's almost automatic unless you roll it like an 88 or, well, actually this would be, yeah, 11 to, if he's a weak left, if he's a weak armed right fielder and there's 2 outs, it's like an automatic you make it to third, because the numbers only go to 88 and this is a 76, so plus 20 for being 2 outs. So that would be a 96, so there's no way you can get thrown out. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, it's intuitive, right? If you understand a little bit about baseball and advancing depending on where the ball is hit, like from first to home on a double, you know, is more difficult than going from second to home on a single. So, you know, basic common sense stuff. So let's go to the top of the ninth. It's going to be the top of the order against Seaver. It's going to be Eddie Milner leading off. Milner today's 1 for 3. He's flied out, singled, caught stealing, and then struck out. Here's a pitch from Terrific. That's a 7. That'll be off Milner. And a 21 is banged up the middle, and that's through for a single for Milner, a leadoff single here. And that was off the batter, so we'll check for an error. No error, so Milner's on at first. So on deck is Gary Redus, and that would be the tying run if Concepcion can get on base. It's 4-1. So here's the pitch to Concepcion. Nobody's warming up in the bullpen. That's a CD. That's a clutch defense check to the shortstop. And shortstop is Baylor, not very good. He's got a 0 rating, but that still is worth something. And the 0 rating, we got a 73. That'll be continue the game, right? It won't count because it's too high. Just no action occurs. Let's do it again. A 9, that's off Concepcion. An 87. Righty versus a righty, that'll be an out. What kind of an out? Popped up, left side, right side, excuse me, first baseman. First baseman Hernandez is there to put it away. I put that first single into the 8th inning rather than the 9th inning. There, I gotta fix it. All right. So runner on first with 1 out. Concepcion pops it up. Here's Gary Redus. Pitch from Terrific. That's a 12. That will be off Redus, and an 83 will be an RP. Bouncer right back to the mound. And Seaver goes to second for 1. Back to first. I'm going to have to check the rules on this. A speedy runner could beat this out. And I think that's what the... Let's see. It's a 1. Double play grounder. Pitcher to second to first unless he's a base running of an A, which Gary Redus is. So he'll beat it out. So it's a 1-6 fielder's choice, Seaver to Baylor, and beating it out at first on a fielder's choice is Gary Redus. So 2 outs. And here is Dan Driessen. Dan Driessen is 1 for 3 today with a single in the 4th inning. So the Reds are down to their last out here in game 19 for Seaver in his 1983 return to the Mets. I'm replaying that season. And here goes. Here's the pitch to Driessen. That's a 9. That's off Driessen. And a 35. That is struck him out. And that's the ball game. Seaver with his 7th strikeout of the ball game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 strikeouts for Terrific. And he pitches a masterpiece here, allowing only 5 hits, 1 run. And the Mets win it 4-1. Mets collected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits, and neither team had an error in this game. So Mets with 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. The Reds with 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. That